Hello everyone, welcome to the SaaS Security webinars. My name is Azadeh Ahadian. Today's discussion is about SaaS Security API reporting capabilities. We will talk about different report types, both predefined and custom reports. Predefined reports include the SaaS Security Report, Risk Assessment Report, Remediation Activity Logs Report, GDPR Report, and the Wildfire Report. Let's first look at the predefined ones. The SaaS Security Report is a comprehensive report that you can use to assess the risk associated with SaaS applications and take action to reduce them. It presents you with a snapshot of your SaaS application usage. In addition, it displays the data in several views for quicker and better access and observation. The best use case of this report is to communicate your overall SaaS application security posture to the security team and executive management. You can create this report on demand and share it with different teams as needed. There are details about different aspects of your SaaS applications. Some of these include information about users of SaaS applications and usage metrics for SaaS applications, SaaS application traffic, and risk distribution. For example, you can find information about the riskiest SaaS applications, unsanctioned and tolerated applications with the highest volume usage, or SaaS applications with the least number of users. You are given three options when creating this report. The time frame is either for the last 7, 30, or 90 days. After the report is generated, it sends it to the email address of the admin who generated the report. It also displays it in the SaaS Security Report dashboard. Due to performance, there is a limit in generating this report. Each admin can only generate 10 reports per day. Note that even if you delete reports generated by an admin, it does not reset this limit. Since all reports generated by all admins are displayed in this dashboard, you can download and use any existing report that its time frame meets your need. This is a snapshot of different sections in the report. As you can see, you have information such as executive summary, top SaaS application categories by total usage, top 30 high-risk applications by usage, top 30 high-volume unsanctioned applications, top 30 high-volume tolerated applications, top 30 applications by fewest users, and top 30 high-risk content management applications. And finally, top 30 high-risk collaboration applications. Now, let's talk about SaaS Risk Assessment Report. As the name implies, this report summarizes the security risks within your SaaS applications. Along with the reporting on the risks and vulnerabilities within your application, it suggests recommendations and ways to reduce the risks related to sensitive data exposure, threats, and collaborators. This report helps with proactively identifying security-related problems in your SaaS applications. This report is also on demand and can be downloaded in PDF format and sent to different teams for review. It also is emailed to the admin who generated it. The report is a snapshot of the data and findings available up to the time we send the request to generate the report. The content includes information such as a summary of key findings, for example, the number of cloud apps, how many files are stored on them, how many of them are exposed to people outside of your company, people from which domain have access to your file, and the number of files with sensitive data. And also what categories the sensitive data are belong to and the exposure of sensitive data. Other information is about incidents and policy violations. A breakdown of users by domains with access to the organization's data. Top untrusted domains, users with most incidents. A breakdown of files by file type and their exposure within each category, and the number of risks per type. And finally, the number of incidents per file type. These are some screenshots of different sections of the report we just discussed. The summary of key findings and the sensitive content categorized by type, incidents, and policy information. And here we have information about top collaborators domain and top untrusted domains, user with most incidents and user with most exposed files. And here is the information about assets and the risks they impose by file type and by profile category. If you remember in our risk remediation presentation, we talked about this log. All remediation actions taken either manually or automatically are recorded, and this report displays them. Using this report, you can audit the progress of automatic remediation and how incidents are addressed manually by asset owners and admin or automatically by SAS Security API. There are several filtering options you can use to narrow down the result. You can set the time frame when the remediation activity happens. You can filter the remediation actions. For example, you can search for all logs for the delete file action, or you can filter on remediation action related to a specific policy rule. Another option is to limit the result to one or more persons who perform the remediation action. If you want to see remediation actions done automatically, you need to choose SAS Security from the Action Taker drop-down list. There is also a search box where you can search for part of a file name or a username. You can export and download these logs to a CSV file for offline review. GDPR report is about data protection regulation. It summarizes all information about data privacy regulations for sanctioned SaaS applications. It provides information about sensitive data exposure, user activities, and personal data on your SaaS applications. Although this report does not provide a verdict for compliance, it is a great help for GDPR regulators to review how PII data is being collected, used, and shared across all SaaS applications. Access to this report depends on the administrator's role and privileges. Some admins can only view, the others with more privileges can view and download, and some can create the report. Different sections in the report contain information about regulations such as articles, verdicts, and links to supporting cloud assets, configurations, and actions. Also, information about methods used to determine compliance and the cloud apps with assets that relates to these regulations. You can export a file as PDF or CSV and email it to the GDPR regulator or other parties. This is a sample of a GDPR report. The first page lists regulations related to conditions for data collections and data processing. Section 2 explains PII data regulations. More details about personal data privacy are covered in Section 3. And here in section 4, more information on how to protect data when processing private data. Now, let's talk about Wildfire Report. SAS Security API uses Wildfire service to identify if an asset is malicious. An asset should match one of the Wildfire policy rules to be considered malicious. Note that you must configure Wildfire analysis on the SAS Security API and make sure that you select all types. To access the Wildfire report for a file, you must go to the Asset Detail page. To find assets that violate a Wildfire policy rule, from the filtering option on the left side of the pane, select the Wildfire checkbox under the Policy Rule section. This shows all assets with a Wildfire policy rule violation. Clicking on the asset name takes you to the Asset Details page. In the Matching Data Pattern section, there is a link to view the Wildfire report. In the report, there is a section that has details about the asset. Also, a section to show the result of a static analysis, and one section to show the result of dynamic analysis. You have the option to download the report as a PDF or XML file. There is a link that takes you to where you can see the virus verdict. A static analysis displays samples that contain characteristics of known malware. The dynamic analysis provides details about malicious hosts and networks. A static analysis detects known threats by analyzing the characteristics of samples prior to execution. Dynamic analysis analyzes a file and examines it as it would behave when executed, and looks for activities such as changes in the browser setting, injection of code into different processes, modification of files in operating system folders, or attempts to access malicious domains. Here are a few screenshots that display different information from dynamic analysis. Information such as behavioral summary, host activities, and the event time frame. Now let's talk about custom reports. In many SaaS Security API dashboards, you have the option to download the information. Powerful filtering and search options allow you to narrow down the result and customize it as you need. Here is a list of places where you have the option to download the search result presented in dashboards and panels. Let's take a look at one of these panels. On the Explore Asset page, there are two different search options, Basic and Advanced. In this dashboard, you can investigate and view details about discovered asset during the scan process. On the left panel, there are several areas where you can filter the information. You can search based on cloud apps, policy rules, data patterns and data profiles, exposure level, and many other attributes. Then you can download the result in a CSV file and use it in your own form of reporting. The advanced search option provides the same options, but it is more powerful and it offers more options with connectors and operators to build a more granular search expression and tailor the result per your need. The search engine is very easy to use and guides you in building your search. Now let's summarize what we talked about. We talked about different options for reporting in SaaS Security API. We have powerful predefined reports that can be used on demand and the option to build a customized report from scratch. This brings us to our question and answer session. Thank you everyone for attending. Looking forward to seeing you in our next webinar.